In October 2023, the Clash Ninja website passed 1 million registered users. To mark this milestone, I asked the fine people of Twitter, YouTube and the Clash Ninja Discord server for some questions, and I will answer them in this video. What gave you inspiration to make Clash Ninja website? Asked by Bymarsh Gaming 1414 on YouTube. And why did you start Clash Ninja? Asked by Char113YT on Twitter. When I started playing Clash of Clans, it was difficult to see in-game how many levels you had outstanding for your current Town Hall level. I looked around online for other upgrade trackers, and although there were some back then, I felt they were missing features which would be very useful, so I decided to create my own. When you got the idea to create Clash Ninja website, and what were the struggles you faced? Asked by AI Creations 8931 on YouTube. I started planning out the idea to create the site in 2016 and development started later that year. As for the struggles I faced, at that point Clash of Clans had been out for around 4 years, which in mobile games home gear is pretty old. So I was not sure if I was actually going to be wasting my time developing this because I wasn't sure how long the game was going to be around. Looking back, it seems that I didn't need to worry. How did you come up with the name Clash Ninja? Asked by BaseBoss on Twitter. During the development of the site, it had a really boring working name like CAC Upgrades or something, and I decided it needed something that was more catchy. I'm not very creative in that area, but I thought it would be a good opportunity to come up with some sort of character that could be used as a logo, and I just thought ninjas would be pretty cool. Also, in terms of choosing a domain name for the website, there is a .ninja suffix, which I thought would go hand in hand with the name. Why Clash Ninja and not Ninja Clash? Asked by Shiropai42 on YouTube. And why the Clashes of the Ninja, in brackets Clash Ninja, by Legend Sid on Discord. I just saw this as describing the ninja. This is a ninja that clashes, just like you would say it's a blue ninja or a scary ninja. It's the Clash Ninja. As for do ninjas play Clash? I'm afraid that's not something I can disclose. Would it be possible to have the website see our building levels automatically in the future, or is it something that Supercell doesn't want to / can't happen? Asked by Aceman on Twitter. As of today, this isn't possible as this information isn't included in the Clash of Clans API data. This is something I'm always asking them to add because I believe that it would really improve the usability of sites such as my own. As for if it's something that they don't want to happen, I don't believe so. I think it's just they've been working on other things and other areas of the game rather than the API. Have you considered working with Supercell directly on the game, especially with things related to the API? It could help the website a lot and open a lot of opportunities. Whenever I can, I do speak to the Clash of Clans team about API improvements such as this. I think the tools within the community, whether it's websites or apps or Discord bots or whatever, really enhance people's game playing experience, and it should be a higher priority than maybe it might be. As for if I would consider working with them, if the opportunity arose, absolutely I would. The API for Clash of Clans has so much potential, and if I can help improve it for the entire community, that's a positive outcome for everybody. Which features do you plan on adding to the website in the future? Asked by Waba on YouTube. And what new features are coming to the site? Asked by Fezvoid on Twitter. In general, I'm normally working on a number of new features at the same time. However, I prefer to only announce things when they're actually ready, just so that I actually give a decent answer to this question. Some of the things I've been working on recently include a Discord bot, overhauling the notifications system to ensure it can handle the continued growth of the site going forward. And there's something else I'm not quite ready to talk about just yet, but I'm hoping it will be out in early 2024. What is the average Town Hall level on the site? Asked by King of Million on Discord. Here's a table showing the breakdown as of when I recorded this video in start of November 2023. It looks like the largest group is Town Hall 11. Can you talk a bit about the ideas you have around upgrade planning templates, i.e. guides on what to upgrade within the Clash Ninja app? Asked by Corporal Creekboy on Discord. This is an idea that I've probably mentioned at some point in the past, where when you're planning out your upgrades, you can choose the priorities, such as improving offensive strength or increasing passive income, and a plan would be generated for you based on your priority. As for who could create templates, such as devs or creators, I'm undecided at this point. It's very early days. Do you ever approach or feel burnt out? How do you personally handle burnout, stay interested in the game for long enough to max multiple accounts? For me personally, when I feel that I'm getting burnt out playing, I'll just take a break. At the end of the day, playing a game such as Clash of Clans should be fun. If it's feeling like it's a chore or tedious, there's no point in forcing yourself to play. As for staying interested long enough to max multiple accounts, the key is to remember that Clash of Clans is a marathon and not a sprint. When I'm playing on my high level accounts, I'm looking at how much resources I need to keep the builders in the lab busy, and at which point, once I've farmed enough resources, that's me done for the day. That was one of the main motivations for adding the loot planner on the site, because it allows me to plan out my upgrades to the village, and then I can see how much resources I need to farm that day in order to keep everything active. Do you actively manage all of your accounts on Clash Ninja, i.e. tracking and planning routinely? Yes, absolutely. That's pretty much the main reason I decided to build the site in the first place, purely for me to use myself. When it comes to planning, I'm not one of these people who will plan out the upgrades for 6 months into the future. I'll normally plan the next 1 or 2 upgrades for each builder and in the lab and leave it there, which is enough to make sure that the builders are freeing up on an equal cycle and that it's actually achievable to farm the amount of resources. If you've got 3 high-level heroes that need Dark Elixir all starting an upgrade within 24 hours, chances are for me that's not a realistic amount of resources to farm, and it also ties into avoiding burnout, making sure that the resource requirements for your plan are achievable for how much you play. What strategies and tools do you use to manage your work on the app? Primarily, I do a lot of planning using Trello, which is a project management tool. What I'll do is I will add a new item on there, which could just be a very high-level description of a feature such as loot planner or rework notifications or create Discord bots. And then over time, as I have ideas, I will expand the notes on that until eventually the feature is pretty much fleshed out to the point where I could actually start development. A lot of these features will probably be planned over the course of a year or more, whereas some of the smaller ones, maybe I'll have an idea and they'll be planned out within a few days and I'm able to add it in quite quick fashion. Are there any seasonal trends in site traffic year over year that affects your work? If they are, what are they? Do you think/know these trends correlate with seasonal trends for Clash playtime as a whole, such as times of year players tend to play more or less Clash? Also from Corporal Creek Boy on Discord. The main things that affect the increase in site traffic will be whenever there's a new update. Whenever the quarterly updates roll out for the game, there will be an increase in the number of people playing Clash of Clans again, and I will see more active users on the site and an influx of new people creating accounts. The other main impact for me personally on the site is when the site is mentioned either by a large YouTuber and they make a video mentioning the site, or somebody's talking about the site on Reddit. That normally has a noticeable impact in the number of active users and number of new accounts. Do you have a plan to translate your tracker into another language? Asked by 1K32K2 on Discord. This is something I really wish I'd included from day one, as adding it retrospectively is a monumental task. I think at this point the way I'd have to achieve this would be to add multilingual support just to certain sections of the site initially, and then over time expand it across the entirety of the site. But it is something that I want to include at some point. In your opinion, what sets Clash Ninja apart from other tools/apps/websites? Asked by Liam Titan or Vanessa Baxton on Discord. I think one of the main things is just the number of features that the site has. I want the Clash Ninja site to be the ultimate planning and tracking tool for your Clash of Clans village, and I'm going to keep working on it until I've achieved that. Any plans on what will happen to Clash Ninja for the long-term future, i.e. will someone continue it if you don't? Working on the Clash Ninja site is still something that I look forward to each day, and that's unusual for a project that's over 7 years old. If the time comes where I'm looking to move on and do something else, I'll look at the various options to see what's required for the site to continue then. Will there be more ways to compare your own stats with your friends' accounts? Asked by Callum Jevons on Twitter. Being able to compare your village progress with your friends' progress was always something I wanted to have there. It's one of the many items on my ideas list and is likely to be something that will get added at some point. Have you thought about making an app? Asked by Camu on Twitter. And will Clash Ninja come in the app/Play Store? Asked by Stonecat Gaming on Twitter. In terms of there being a native mobile app, I don't think that will be something that will happen, at least not anytime soon, just due to the fact that it's just me working on the site, and managing an iOS version of the app, an Android version of the app, and the website would be unfeasible when it comes to game updates and things. There is the progressive web app version, which is installable like a native app, which is much more manageable for me, as I'm only having to update the site and that updates the app on whatever device you're using. Going forward, I've got a number of improvements planned for that version of the app to try and get a more native-like experience so that the site is better to use on mobile. I think this is a good stopping point to call this the end of part 1. I've got a lot more of your questions to answer, so be sure to check out those in part 2. Thanks for watching.